Hello everybody, welcome back to Blast Away the Game Reviews YouTube. Today we're doing a new tutorial on Final Fantasy. I want to give a huge shout out to Redditor Y2BetUC. If you read his name or her name backwards, it's cute booty. I want to give you a huge shout out. Thank you for the tips about our next video, and we're actually going to be taking your advice in this one, so a big shout out to you. Today we're going to be taking another look at the hunt log, and this time we're going to go a little more in depth because I did miss out on a few things which the Redditor explained. We needed to explain that on the maps, as you can see, I'm looking for where I can find these antling workers. And on their names, they actually give you an idea of what zone they're in, what location in each zone. As you can see, the maps are absolutely gigantic. And because we do have to have specific locations like Blackbrush in Central Tantaland and a few other places in Western Tantaland, what we're going to do is actually take a look at how big these zones are within an actual zone, because there are locales within each zone. So as you can see, there's all sorts of stuff, especially like Blackbrush, which is where we're going to actually be going, and the Clutch. And as you can see, Blackbrush goes clear over by Cutter's Cry. And it's even near a little place called Blackbrush Station, which actually has an Aetheryte that you're going to need to activate. And as you can see to the east of it, there's the Clutch, which we're going to need both Blackbrush and the Clutch to complete this hunt log that we're going to do today. So, first thing you're going to want to do if you haven't unlocked your mount is you're going to want to go ahead and use your sprint as much as possible, because you have a really long run ahead of you. However, we're not going to be doing the full run. Instead, we're actually going to skip ahead to where we're starting to fight. As you can see, after a few minutes of running, we've come to an area called Blackbrush Station, which is in the region of Central Tantaland that we need, called Blackbrush. Now, one thing we are going to do while we're here is let's go ahead and attune to this Aetheryte crystal, especially because this Aetheryte is going to allow us to teleport from Ul'dah to Blackbrush, which we are going to need, especially because of this story. Now, I hope you have been doing your story up to this point. The only reason I have not been is because I'm doing these tutorials to help you get started. Now, as you can see, teleporting is going to cost you a little bit of money. And because you're just starting, this is going to be a really expensive ordeal. So the best bet you have is using your return as much as possible. But if you've started out the game, you should have these little things called Aetheryte tickets, which will allow you to teleport up to 99 or 100 times free, depending on how many you have saved up. And because my character is new, I've saved up to around 100 at this point. Now, if you remember, I said we're going to need to go into this zone called Blackbrush, which is in Central Tantaland, and that's a huge area within Central Tantaland. So, because we are going to be doing that, we're not going to be doing the story mission as you saw that I was highlighting. But don't forget to do your class quest. You do want to do it once you hit level 10. Now, again, we're just going to do the hunt log, clear a few things out, and because we found the ant worker, we can actually go ahead and move on a little further along in the hunt log, just to cut down a little bit of time on this video, because I know some of you are going to have questions about what else can you do to level up. So we're actually going to go ahead and do that and skip ahead a little bit. So now that we're at the very end of our hunt log, we're going to have a two-part hunt log right here, especially because it's going to take us to the next rank within our hunt log. We're going to have to finish killing this ant soldier here in Central Tantaland. Then we're going to have to teleport to the Dusty Mongrel over in Western Tantaland. Now, there will be a chance that the Dusty Mongrel could be within a fate, so there's a good chance we may have to do a fate. But the added bonuses, let alone when you get your hunt log completion for that creature, you're also going to get your hunt log completion for both the full hunt log itself, the creature, and you're going to get a fate. So there's a chance to get triple bonuses right there. So don't be scared if one says to go here, go there, and a fate's on top of the creatures you need, or they're fate creatures, because you're still going to get your hunt log completion on top of the fact that you're going to have hunt log creatures. Now, one thing I do want to bring up about combat is if you have potions and you are finding yourself struggling a little bit like I am, don't be scared to have potions on your hotbars. Those will help you stay alive. For me, I do tend to put them on my utilities hotbar, which is always my hotbar 2. Hotbar 3 is for accessibilities, and potions if I need them on there at high levels, especially because I'm going to be having a lot of actions across my hotbars. Now, one thing we did discuss last time is comboing and cooldowns. If you can, go ahead, if you're playing a paladin, keep your fight or flight on cooldown, but also other jobs, make sure that if you have cooldowns that say increase your damage, that you are using those, especially because they are going to level you up and a little bit faster because you're dealing more damage. Now, we are going to go ahead, as I said, we're going to go to Western Tantaland, so as you can see, we're teleporting to Western Tantaland. And this will help us get to the creatures we need in order to go ahead and progress with our hunt log. But an added bonus to Western Tantaland is, let alone do we have a chance to finish off our hunt log here, we actually get to talk about leave quests, which I hope all of you do pay attention, because leave quests are going to be really important, especially when you try to level up and say you've already hit one class to max level and you've decided to go ahead and keep leveling new jobs. Now, if you remember, I did say there was a chance that our final hunt log creatures could be within a fate, and as you can see here, voila, they are actually our fate creatures. So we're going to end up fighting them regardless. So as you see, Dusty Mongrels. So why not get the chance to get the triple XP event going for us? So as you can see here, I'm going to clear it out. I'm going to fight the Dusty Mongrels. But I'm not going to go ahead and show all the combat, because I do want to go ahead and skip forward and let you see what happens when this kind of event does occur. Now, as you can see here, I started at level 9, and I bumped almost completely to level 10. So, as I said, it's not a bad idea to go ahead and do your hunt log and fate at the same time, especially if you have that opportunity. Because I'm already ready to go back, do my next class quest, which you're not going to see me do in this video, because by now you should be having the hang of what you need to do. And if you don't, it's okay, don't feel bad. I will put a link down in the more information to our first tutorial, which I hope you have watched. If you have not, you should be watching that first. Now, as you can see, I went ahead and did my level 10 quest. I have a new ability called Rampart, which is in my abilities, or my actions and traits log, which I will equip Rampart, even though it's a roll ability. It causes me to take reduced damage, which as a paladin, which is a tank, that's a good idea. I'm going to go ahead and also clear off this quest from my quest log on the right side so that it's not on the screen bugging you, plus minor spoilers for those of you wondering. Now, what we are going to do is take a look at the hunt log again, because now it has gotten quite a bit more difficult. As you can see, the XP is a lot higher though, so it's a trade-off for those that are trying to level up. As you can see here, I can go fight thick shells and scout fights over in Western Tantaland, which is just what I'm going to do, and I'm going to take advantage of being able to do that. But do note, they are going to be harder, which means we may have to hold off and do what I called leave quests and guild heist earlier in the video. Those are truly important, because guild heist and leave quests are another amazing way to level up, especially if you're struggling to keep up with your main scenario quest leveling. If you aren't, it may happen eventually, so it doesn't hurt to know how to do these, because you will see these throughout the game, even once you get into, say, Kugane or even Ralgar's Reach up in Stormblood. So it's a good idea to have a general idea of what these are. Now, as you can see here, I know where my hunt log is going to take me. I looked for the area within the zone by pulling up my map. And now that I have a general idea of where they're going to be at in the footfalls, it's time to go ahead and hunt down my creature. But if you've noticed, the creatures in here have actually leveled up significantly higher than me. Even 2 to 3 levels is still a decent threat within Final Fantasy XIV or any MMO, because they're going to hit quite a bit harder than what we're used to. But because I am going to take out 3 of these, I am going to go ahead and ensure that I'm ready for this. I have my Chocobo out, so if you get to the point in the main story you've joined a grand company, you have a chocobo, definitely keep him out. But because we aren't going to be doing that part of the story just yet, or even the game, I'm going to go ahead and leave the chocobo information out for another tutorial, because we will have the alternate character which I'm using for these tutorials up to that point. So I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead. We're going to do showing me do this fight. You know I'm struggling a little bit. So I want to go ahead and do my leave quest through the Levemete. And I even want to talk to the Battle Warden because I want to see if there's any guild heists I can do. As you can see, I have 2 unlocked that are level 10 and 1 that will unlock at level 15. So we do have a set of options to level up. Now, if you want to do basic training, you can go ahead and click join. As you can see on the right side, it's put you into the duty finder, which will find you a group. But I'm going to go ahead and withdraw because I'm not going to do the duty finder just yet. So you go over, hit withdraw, and as you can see, it took me out of the duty finder. But I can also go ahead and queue for the guild heist roulette, and if I do that, I can hit join. And again, I'm going to skip, but you know I'm going to hit withdraw because we're going to go ahead and do leave quests I gained from the Levemete. And as you can see on the map, they're going to be represented by green arrows and green zones, and they're going to have to be activated from your journal. So once you activate them, as you can see here, I chose a higher difficulty, which means higher rewards but higher chance to fail. So I'm going to go ahead and do it on the highest level because I'm going to get a bonus XP from it. And as you see, this creature is significantly higher than me by 3 levels. So he is going to hit a little bit harder. He is going to be harder for me to take down. And he's also going to provide a significant challenge. And as you can see here, I'm not killing him very quickly, so it's probably best if I try to avoid abilities, which I will be doing. And if you're having trouble tracking these, just remember you do have your map. You can pull it up by hitting square on your PS4 controller or M on your keyboard. It'll do both. So let's go ahead and keep fighting. And as you can see here, I do have my objectives going. I have to kill 1 dirty mongrel, and I have to visit 3 locations for the leave quest, which once done, the leave quest is over. But we're going to go ahead and skip to clearing and turning in the leave quest, because there is already the bit you know. We have to fight X amount of creatures. Once we do, it's done. And as you can see, new creatures had popped up as I was going. And because I do have 3 of 4 done already up to that point, now that it's clear, it's going to say duty complete, but it's also going to give me the option to return to Horizon's Levemete and turn those quests in. And because we've already done all the leave quests on this side out of all the ones I grabbed, it's probably a good idea to go ahead and turn it into him. And he's actually going to give you a little bit of a bonus for doing those leave quests at higher levels. And as you can see here, we'll go ahead and click reward. And he's going to tell us about how he's going to judge leave quests, and he even gives you some decent items to have. So it's a really good trade-off, especially if you're still struggling for gear and leveling up. But also, you do have other leave quests, such as Fieldcraft, Tradecraft. You're going to need your crafters for those, or your gatherers. So unless you pick those up, go ahead and pass on those. I'm not going to grab any more leave quests, even though I have a lot of daily allowances left, because I can still get some at any given time, especially if I need them. But instead, I'm going to go ahead and do a guild heist. And as you can see, I've applied for my duty roulette daily guild heist. And now that I'm in here, it's going to throw me in a group with 3 other people, 2 DPS, a healer, and myself. And as stated, it's a little mini dungeon, so we're going to go ahead and do it. And as you can see, it does give you an idea of what in general is going to happen. And it's just basically telling me if I aggro the Globule, he's going to aggro me big time. Now, because I am the tank, the most important thing in there here to remember is, since you are playing the role of a tank, if you chose Paladin, you're going to go ahead and ensure that you're using abilities like Flash to keep aggro on you, because that is your job. Now, don't be like this guy was. Even though he's a DPS, he still ran in and pulled aggro. Don't be that guy. Tanks do not like it. They really prefer if you let them pull, especially because if you pull, you could accidentally wipe the entire group. And it's just not a fun ordeal, because it does get frustrating to wipe, and wipe some more. Now that we have cleared it, it's time for us to do the final fight. As you can see, I'll go ahead and go in. I'm going to use Flash to grab aggro. And now that I have aggro, it's my job to ensure that I have it so that nobody else is taking damage. So Flash will be a primary ability that you're going to want to use, especially if you're a paladin. Now, don't forget you do have abilities like Rampart if you're a paladin, or a warrior. Those abilities will help you take less damage. And don't forget to also use your fight or flight. That will ensure that you're doing more damage. More damage means more aggro for you. Or as in Final Fantasy XIV's, enmity or hate. But now that we've completed the dungeon, we have a thing called a commendation. Commendation is basically you giving another player a thumbs up. So if you really like what the healer did, definitely commendate them. If you like what your partner did, if it's an off tank or a main tank, don't forget to give them a thumbs up or a commendation. It's a really kind gesture. If they didn't do that great, it doesn't hurt to give somebody who you feel did above and beyond. But I do want to thank everybody for tuning in. We are running out of time. If you have any questions about how Levemates work, how the battle wardens work, how the hunt logs work, don't forget that you do have those available to you. You have your, and if you're tired of the hunt log, don't forget you can go do fates. And as stated, you can still go do your queues if you have guild heists available. It never hurts to do those. And because I wanted a little more XP, I went ahead and did one more guild heist. As you can see, I'm getting a decent amount of XP, so it never hurts. So just remember, you have all those options available to you. We will be taking a look in the next video about dungeons, especially because they are going to be something that is coming up. If you have any questions pertaining to any of this, please feel free to hit me up. Let me know in the comments. We will help you as quick as we can. If you're on the server Midgard Stormer, feel free to give me a holler. You can use the character's name that you see on screen, which is Arnick Lightfoot, and I will respond to you as quick as I can. Just send me a friend's request, even if I'm not on, because I will accept it. Again, I'm your host here at Blast Away the Game Review, Dustin Murphy. I do hope this video helps all of you beginners get into Final Fantasy XIV. If you have a specific guide you want within the game, let us know. We'll get a video about it, or we'll even highlight something maybe we've forgotten. I hope all of you have a wonderful weekend. I hope to hear from all of you soon. Thanks again for tuning in, and have a wonderful weekend. And we'll talk to you within the next couple days with another Final Fantasy XIV tutorial.